with everything going on in this country right now, and I keep saying, like, I feel like I'm qualified to speak on most of the hot button issues because I'm directly affected by, like, I feel like I'm as close to the whole Nolan Wells thing as a white person can be. And, like, the people that went to high school with me, I feel like would probably kind of back that. I went to an entirely white high school in Corbin, Kentucky. Uh, Corbin was still basically entirely white when I left in like 2004. Uh, I reread To Kill a Mockingbird a couple of years ago, and I can't believe I didn't spot it when we read it in high school. But when I reread it recently, I was like, holy crap, dude! Like, my hometown was more backwards in the turn of the millennium at Y2K. Corbin and Williamsburg were more backwards than the fictional town that To Kill a Mockingbird is set in. And that's crazy. Uh, but growing up there and the stuff that, because like my little group of friends, uh, had started making headway for change around there. Like I said, I was in, seventh, eighth grade, and the high schoolers that were like the older siblings of some of my friends and whatnot, uh, they were the ones that really got the ball rolling. And then by the time I was in high school, like they kind of got rid of a lot of people. Like things got bad enough. A lot of the people I looked up to that were like the elder statesmen of the freak groups and whatnot left. Uh, it had come to a head where the school had made it pretty clear they, if anything, like like Caleb getting beat up all the time, they saw him as the problem. They made it very clear they weren't going to do much about that. Same with like Chat, the female. Like she went to Corbin. A lot of people ended up going to Corbin uh, from Whitley County. And then I got there and it was just like just me, and I had a target on me. Um, I got kicked out of high school twice, and neither time was it actually specifically did it start with me. It was both times me like getting involved in something. The first one was a friend and a teacher got in an argument. The teacher was wrong. It was an art class that really the lady had no business teaching. She was a coach's wife. She coached some girls' sports and things, and I think she had like a study hall. But t- I'm not even exaggerating. I don't think the lady had actual classes where she taught. Uh, in our senior year, basically, they added a required course that was this arts and humanities thing, and she ended up teaching it. Uh, and her and Josie got into it and Josie was correcting her, not to be a smartass, but because the reason they had added this little class was because our region in general was doing so poorly on the standardized testing. In that, imagine that in arts and humanities, we were doing so poorly that they added this class to try to like bump up those scores. Uh, that being what it was, and they were pretty clear about it because like that was the thing is they shoehorned it in so last minute, and there were different degrees you could go for at our school. Um, the Commonwealth diploma was the best one. Like it would qualify you for like better key money and all that. It had more requirements, and a lot of people they added this arts and humanities like junior and senior year, and a lot of people had like their AP classes and things figured out so tightly they didn't have room for it hardly, and they made such a big deal out of it. Like a lot of us kids, because the ones that affected the most were kids that were in AP classes and things. So we weren't dumb. And it was like, some of us were getting ready to go to college. It was really affecting. So they were pretty transparent about, like, look, this is what it is. We're failing these tests and da da da. But that being what it was, Josie wasn't correcting her to be a bitch. She was correcting her because, we need to get this right. Uh, and that's that. I stood up for her because basically it had reached a point where it was like the class against Josie. And I got in the middle of it too. And I can't even really remember the specifics. I know that it ended, and I know I didn't scream at her or nothing, the teacher, but I know it ended with her literally taking her wheeled chair, her little desk chair, facing it in the corner of the classroom and crying. And I was like, somebody even said there, like I was still kind of talking smack because Josie was sitting right in front of me, and I was like, this is insane, dude. Like, I'm still talking smack. Somebody else chimed in from across the room, like, Joey, don't you think she's sitting there crying? Don't you think you've done enough? And I was like, dude, if an argument with a student causes you to cry, maybe you shouldn't be a teacher. Because that's a thing. Like, looking back on it, all of us that went to Whitley that, feel some type of way about it have a right to. Like, I'm not dumb. That's one thing I've never been accused of. Uh, I was just like I said, they eighth grade. My art teacher kept me out the halls. I literally did not attend any other classes, and that wasn't just for like the last month or no. That was for most of the school year. Things popped off early on, and that was that. I was there supposed to be getting an education, dude. Uh, to this day, like I just rub certain people the wrong way. I got stopped back in April, uh, accused of shoplifting because I went in farm and family home or I cannot get the name of that place right, but I went in there specifically to see about a bullwhip and told the girl at because I wasn't just gonna wander around looking for it. Told the girl at the counter like, yo, I don't expect you to have it, but like the online says I could order it through here, so like you might. Um, do you have bullwhips? And she actually like got kind of cheerful. Was like, we might. We have horse whips. Took and showed me the horse whips, and it wasn't what I was looking for. And I was like, well, no, it's. I'll just order one, thanks. Uh, and it literally said exactly this. I said, since I didn't buy anything, do you guys have a bathroom? And since I didn't buy anything, can I use it? If so. And she was like, yeah, it's back in the corner. I've never been in this place really. Maybe years ago, but I don't think so. So as I'm walking through the store, I'm looking at things or whatever, but didn't even take my hands out my hoodie pocket. Went to the bathroom, go to leave. There's, I thought the same lady. On my way out, an employee asked if they could help with anything, and I said no, and just kept going. Stopped by the door to look at some boots. To me, looking back on it, it's like I feel like it should have been painfully obvious I wasn't up to no good. The lady just didn't like the look of me. But apparently, she tried to holler at me as I was walking out. That's what she told the police that she called on me. We get stopped all the way across town. It's kind of crazy. Cops walk up all aggressive, tell my roommate they need his vehicle keys, offer it. That's the first thing I'm gonna need your keys. He's like, do what? Because I told you so. Dude, the other cop has come to the passenger side and put his hands on me without telling me a thing. Like I literally had to ask, like, why you got your hands on me, dude? The second or third time I asked, he finally spit out that I was being detained, and that's when I was like, for what? And the retail fraud is what they call it up here. Literally, you're said you are not. Uh, we can get to the bottom of this because yeah, that was not a pleasant interaction. Ended with me singing Woody Guthrie at the cops on the side of the road. telling them about themselves. Like I talk to them like dogs. I ain't gonna lie. Which I tried to reel it in the beginning and was like, dude, when I first said you're screwing up, I was like, have you ever had somebody guilty actually act this way? And you could tell it rattled him. But the one cop decided he'd double down. He goes, "You mean have I had somebody try to lie to me?" I was like, "Oh, cool. So now I'm not only being accused of something I didn't do, but you're gonna say, yo, go do your thing." I said, "Since I'm being detained, you got about 20 minutes to figure something out." They tried to argue, "Oh, that's not how that." Yeah, it is. The Supreme Court. 20 minutes is a reasonable amount of time. If you can't do something actionable, you gotta go. So TikTok, flat told. I was like, dude, I got a 98 on that app. I'm smarter than you. Don't embarrass yourself. I said, you're just a cop. Like they had to like me better when I was a criminal because now they got nothing on me, and I'm an educated citizen. That's the worst thing for them. I've been saying this social climate might end with me dead on the street because I literally can't help it, dude. Before I know it, and that's actually what I started this video for. Is I accidentally found out what sharking is, and I'm gonna tell you right now, if I even see what I think is about to be that, I'm putting a stop to it. Because Lord, if it happened in front of me, and I had seen even and was like, no, like if I had a train wreck moment and didn't respond, and then I was wrong, and it was the thing, like like I should have responded, oh, I could have lived with myself. Like I'm sorry, but it might be better that a few innocent kids get smacked on the head than that happen to somebody. Because, dude, uh, it's wild. And then the thing that I saw that made me aware of it, uh, the entire comment section, nothing but women. There's not one dude in there talking about like, dude, what the hell? Uh, except me. Like, and I hate that too because like it feels like people think I'm virtue signaling, and it's like no, I got kicked out of high school twice for standing up for my friends and whatnot, and have said my whole life like gun to my head, right is right. Uh, I got that spectrum sense of justice thing. Like I cannot help it. Before I know it, I'm mostly I just hold this thing. Makes me feel more comfortable. That's the thing. I said I should make like playlists because I did a video about random kids, and of course it's heavy. It's like dude, people that like assume. I think I have to assume all of this. Assuming there are people that want to hear me play music, they didn't show up. But it's a bit of a mixed bag, dude. Like I'm the end result of every hell thing I put myself through, and that's a bit. Really should clean my room and mess with my comments and stuff today. I kind of want to get a GoPro or some kind of camera set up where I can talk to myself and have like maybe cameras in my shoulders. That got adventure on there. I don't know what more they want. But dude, adventure time. I mean, we all make it. I really should probably restring this soon. I gotta set it so it has a string. That's what I need to order two straps and a capo. And maybe some other stuff, who knows.